Hi, I'm Andrea Thompson. I'm World's Strongest Woman, 4 times Britain's Strongest Woman, and you are tuned in to Black of the Berry.
Thank you there, Miss Thompson. And listen, y'all. I am Dean, that over there, right there. He's the Madman Los, and we have a very special, strong guest in the building. Listen, she is 4-time Britain's World's Strongest Woman. She is the World's Strongest Woman 2018, and she currently holds the women's deadlifting world record at 621 pounds. Listen, if you're at home, I need you to stand up, get on your feet, as my boy, the big homie, Big E would say, feel the power. Her name is Andrea Thompson. Los, cue that motherfucking applause, God.
Welcome, Miss Thompson. Thank you so much for being on the show, all the way from UK. How you feeling?
Thank you for having me.
Suffolk,
I'm
UK,
good today.
right?
Good. Yeah. Yeah, I'm about an hour away from London, so not too far from the central.
Okay.
So is that like in the country?
I'm the furthest away from anybody in the whole world, basically. I'm very east of the country, so I don't see anybody. It's great.
Okay, Groovis. Listen,
and as our second UK guest, we're crossing over. Listen, BTB is going overseas now. We're global. We're global. You know, we're not just a New York thing. We're not just a United States thing. We are across the pond now.
And we are crossing the pond with the strongest woman walking right now.
Yeah, literally.
Listen, because everyone always says the deadlift is king, or in this case, queen. Mm-hmm. So at 621 pounds, there is no other woman walking this earth that can say that they have touched that yet in a competition that has been broadcasted. So, Andrea, can we talk about that? Can we get into that? What was that like at the Arnold? That whole experience, like, did you know that you were going to hit 621? Did you have another number in your head? Have you even touched that in training?
It's a bit of a long story because
take your time. We have all the time in the world.
I was actually competing as a professional strongwoman for the weekend at the Arnold this year. Rogue had also put in a couple of records for us ladies. Normally the guys have the records throughout the competition anyway, but this year they invited a few women to have a go at various lifts. There's log, dumbbell, deadlift. I qualified to do the deadlift, but it wasn't my priority. My priority was to win the Arnold. It's a competition I haven't won yet, and I wanted that title basically. It got to the second day of the competition, and I was too far away in points-wise to win the competition, but I knew that I had a chance at getting the deadlift. So at a 4:00 in the morning telephone call to Loz to say, what do I do? Can I just go through the rest of the motions for the competition and then go for the record? What should I do? And he's like, just go for it. We've got nothing else to lose now. So I still had to finish competing on the Saturday. So I had 2 events left to do. So I'd already done a deadlift for reps for 60 seconds. And then the final event was the Atlas Stone over bar, which is one of my weakest events. So I knew I didn't have to bust a gut to finish that event off. So while that was going on, the ladies were actually at the back warming up for the deadlift record. So I finished the stone, ran out the back, changed my clothes, and just started warming up on the deadlift bar. While the event was still going on out on the floor. So while they were still busting and ripping their skin off with the stone, I was able to warm up at the back. The ladies were like, what are you doing? You're not doing this deadlift. I was like, yeah, I am. I'm here. Here I am. I didn't really have I wanted to get 600 pounds because I'd got that in the gym. I knew I could get that. That was a decent number to get, but I also knew that there was the other girls that were there could also get 600 pounds. So I knew if I wasn't competing and I got in there fresh, I could have got the 300 kilos. That was in the back of my mind. So I don't. What is that in?
Hold on, I'm going right now. There, hold on.
Oh, it's a lot.
Kilograms. Yeah, we gotta do the computer for the people.
Yeah. You know how Americans are. Oh, so that would be 661. Good God, Andrea.
That was what I really wanted to get. But obviously, knowing that I'd competed for 2 days, I was getting tired. I just needed to get whatever number I needed to win. So I made a bit of a rookie error. and I went in with the wrong numbers, and I made 2 smaller jumps. So my first one I went in for was 260 kilos, which I knew I could get.
Mm-hmm.
Then I did 265, I think it was, or 268, which is a really small jump.
Yeah, it was a very small jump for you at first.
Yeah. And then I saw that Kristen had just done it's about 4 kilos less, and I then still had another lift to go after her, so I just needed to get beyond what she'd just got.
Mm-hmm.
So it was 621. And every time I watch the video back, I see it just pops up every so often, and you can actually see that I'm trying to breathe. I'd started to hyperventilate a little bit. So I kind of paced a little bit, just try and catch my breath. You just try and zone everything out, all the commotion, all the lights, all the people. And then it just, you just kind of just fires, you just kick in. And I got it, and I cried, and I haven't cried for ages, and I cried in front of all those people. It was emotional.
Yeah, it was definitely a feat, man, because that was the first time I recently seen it, and I'm watching the video, I'm watching it, and I'm like, okay, that's a lot of weights, right? So at first, when you first like getting it up, I think it's around like high knee area. It was like, I think it was like a small hesitation, or like I don't know if you had to fix something, but as soon as you fixed it, it was like woof, right up. I was like,
I think what it was, again, because I was a bit fatigued. So like the deadlift I'd done probably an hour before that, and then the stones, my hamstrings were still quite tight, and it wasn't a particularly pretty lift. And I don't normally deadlift like that. It was kind of like got to the knees, and then I just almost like squatted the rest up.
That's what it looked like. Wait a minute.
Yeah, it just kind of like, open the legs and just squat up.
I was like, and I'm like, okay, and I'm not a power lifter, or I'm not, but I've, been a athlete. I know the, ways of squat and deadlift. So I'm like, wait, she got that to her knees. She just shrugged the rest of it. I was like, what?
That's what he said. He goes, did she just shrug that thing?
What? That was just all shoulder and back, like just lift. I was like, oh my God, she is a tank.
Listen,
there was a tiny little moment where I didn't think I was going to get it, and I think I kind of got it stuck on my knee, I think it was. I know I did, because I was bruised for about 3 weeks afterwards. The bruising, my knee just expanded. So I think I just literally grind the bar. You just do these things to get up, I had to
rolling pin your whole thigh with the bar.
Yeah.
So I saw it live. Watching it on YouTube, and obviously not live, like not in person, but on YouTube. And I knew a little bit about women's strong women. I mean, women strong women, excuse me. Oxymoron, strong woman. But I never really had the chance to really sit down and watch the competition. And so, like, I was watching everybody come out. I was like, okay. And then the minute you came out, I was like, okay, what's up? That's the first thing. Just because, like, one thing about this show is that we are black as fuck. We appreciate that shit, and we wear that. So, of course, whenever we see one of our own, I didn't even know you, but I immediately was just like, she got to win. So yeah, I was like, she got to win. So let me tell you, the mood in here got so crazy. So y'all were going back and forth. I think her name was Krista. She won before you. She's the American. Like you said, she went right before you. Then after that, you had 621 on the bar. I started playing The Revolution Will Not Be Televised in here. Why you you started, you won.
This is the system, Andrea.
Yo, listen, when Andrea won, I started running around here just saying, like, girl, like, black girl power, black woman. I was just yelling, like, I was literally in my house bugging out. Like, you know what I mean? Like, in that moment, I was like, I actually thought of Los, because Los always says, black woman is God. And I was like, and she proved it.
Firm believer of it, man. Like,
if it's earth,
really
it's her turf.
I've had quite a lot of that response. The last year, especially, it's become more aware to me that there are very few black women in the sport. And I come from the area that I live in is very. I'm a minority. It's very white. But that's just how I've grown up. I've got mixed race children. My mum's mixed race, so we kind of
constantly
been brought up and raised around predominantly white people. So I never really saw my colour, especially this last week. I've really noticed my colour. But the last year, competing and in a professional level, I've had a lot more black women, especially. It's been quite overwhelming, the amount of response and the support I've had, because I just didn't realise that there were so few of us in the sport, especially at the level that I'm at now. So I do get a lot of response, a lot of messages from black women, black men, children, sort of the parents of children who have been watching me and following me. So yeah, it's been some revolution.
And you know what, people, we have to, I know we kind of were talking, kind of like, not towards the end result, because she is still lifting, and we're going to get into the competition she's going to be doing on July 4th. But I want to bring it back to the beginning. Yeah, Los. She's going to be wilding on July 4th. We're going to talk about that later. But we have to bring it back to the beginning, because, Andrea, I want to talk to you about your journey. So you started, you didn't even start this wanting to be the strongest woman in the world. You just wanted to just lose some weight for your sister's wedding, right?
Definitely. Again, bring around Caribbean family, everything is around food. So we were just big girls. She, and it was never an issue, it was never really a thing. She wanted to lose a little bit of weight. I was bridesmaid for my sister. We decided to do it together. We joined boot camp and then joined a CrossFit class. So we did that for a good year or so. And I very quickly realised I didn't like the fitness side of CrossFit, and I quite enjoyed the lifting. Mm-hmm. And it was one of the trainers that said, Andrew, you're really strong. I've never seen anyone as strong as you and do the lifting side as well as you do. I think you should move it towards some sort of strength stuff. So I just did a little bit of research. And found Strong Woman that way, and just randomly entered myself into Britain's Strongest Woman as my first competition, as you do. And found my coach, who's now my training partner at the time. And he said, the girls have been training for years, months to get to this level. We've got 6 weeks. And I was like, let's get going. We best get a move on. And I came third in that competition. Yeah.
Can we hold on? So hold on, because I'm gonna need everyone to put some respect on Andrea's name. Let me give you some dates, people.
Okay.
Listen, she turned to CrossFit in July 2014, right?
Yes.
We have August 2015 is when she places third in Britain's Strongest Women. Do you motherfuckers understand what I just said? A year and a month. Lord Jesus.
And that's inspiration to be like, it's never too late to start. You just hit the ground.
And all it took was for one person to recognize a talent that I was just doing it because I enjoyed getting fit. I enjoyed losing the weight. I enjoyed being around people that enjoyed the same thing I did. It was never about being strong. It was never about world domination and traveling the world and meeting all these people. But hey, look what happened.
She has world domination. I love it, because that's what happened. You damn sure took over. Yeah. So, all right. So can we just talk about? So actually, no, you already talked about the build up to it. So now I wanna get to your first Britain's Strongest Woman title that you won in 2016. Now at that point, you've only been doing it for 2 years. When you think of this is crazy. So I have to ask, because as your coach said, you had women who have been training for years and competing for years. So when you come in 2 years in the game, you win your first British Strongest Women's title. Did you catch any kind of heat or flack from any of the women? I know strong women and strong man is it's very good with camaraderie. But did you sense any kind of underlying who the fuck is this?
Yes, I did. In my first Britain's Strongest Women competition, actually, a lot of the girls or the coaches of the girls that were there went up to my coach and were like, who is she? Who is this person you brought in? And she's just like, she's just somebody that came to me. As I kind of made my way through the ranks, I actually stopped competing with women after I did my first Britain's Strongest Woman. Because I needed more competition experience if I was going to take it further. So I started to compete against men. The first couple of competitions was fun. It was good fun. It was good experience for me to be pushed against people who were stronger than me, because obviously the other women that I was with weren't. And it wasn't fair. I didn't think it was morally fair that I was just going to walk in there, win, and it stops other women, coming into the game. So I was going to go against the guys. In the end, some of the guys stopped entering the competitions that I was in. I didn't always win. I didn't always win against them. There was a couple of competitions I came dead last, but I gave them a run for their money. That I wasn't just gonna let them win. I was gonna fight it. So coming into my first Britain's title, I felt confident enough that I'd got enough competition experience, because the first couple of times I was so nervous. I made many mistakes. You kind of have to learn to channel that energy into the lifts. And won my first Britain's title, and even that was very surreal. I wasn't happy with my performance. I'm never happy with what I do. I'm really ungrateful. I think I could always do better. So yeah, winning my first Britain's title opened loads of doors for me as well. I kind of became a bit of an ambassador for women to get into strength sports, especially locally as well. No one had really heard about it. I think I put it in my village where I live.
Right.
No one had heard of the sport at all. And until then, I'd never really followed strongman at all myself. So, I hadn't really watched it as a child like many people in the sport have done. I don't really have any idols in the sport, because I'm still getting to know a lot of the athletes now. I have people I look up to within the sport, but sort of legends, I kind of just know them by name now. So
right. So I'm sorry, go ahead, Los.
Go ahead.
Okay. So I wanted to speak about your coach. Is your coach Big Loz?
He's my coach now, yeah. So I've been with Lawrence Charlet.
Big Loz, he's the homie.
Yeah, I've been with Loz since January. He's been amazing. I think I don't know if we're kind of like skipping a few years now, but I got to the end of last year and I just felt like my training was getting a little bit stale. I've been with the same coach for like 3 or 4 years, and I think sometimes you just need to change it up a little bit. And Lawrence, he's been in the game a long time. He knows what to do, what not to do. He knows how to avoid injuries. He just knows everything there is to know about the sport. And he's turned my training around. Obviously, I've been with him nearly 6 weeks, and I got the deadlift record. So that's not bad.
That is not bad at all.
That's like instant growth. You're like, all right, yeah, I need a new coach. Change the pace. Maybe break a world record. I don't know, maybe, but So that's awesome to see.
I needed to.
Yeah. So my thing is, so you said you wanted to. So you went into the competition and you wanted 300 kilos. That was what you. Because I'm thinking like you did 621, but it looked like you could have. If you just shrugged that last half, it looks like you could have did a lot more.
Well, she did 621 while before, and then she was competing in the competition, and then right before that, she did speed deadlifts. So if you think about it, she
endurance.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's ridiculous. Like she probably could have got more than 6. Like once you put all that into perspective, on a fresh day with a competition like that, we could probably be talking 675, maybe 680. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm definitely confident. I'm still recovering actually from that. To be honest, that really ripped my hamstrings to pieces. So I'm confident that when I'm fixed. And I can go into a competition fully prepped, and I've just got the deadlift to do. I can get more than 300 kilos. I know that. I'm very confident, and I don't normally say things like that. I'm not normally that confident, but if I can get 621 after competing for 2 days, traveling halfway across the world, amidst like the beginning of the COVID breakdown, I think in ideal situation I can get a decent number.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's nearly 700 pounds converted. That is insane. That is me and Dean put together.
That's more than us put together.
Not even enough. You know what I'm saying? That's not even. I'm like so in awe sometimes when I see strong men and strong women, because I'm just like, all right, I get it. You're strong and like, you know, they're big, but when you see like the actual like things they have to do, like picking up a round boulder, picking up trucks. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, you know, it's not like, okay, yeah, like sometimes it is just the weights, but sometimes it's like, you know, you have the different things that are equivalent to the weight. So that's like even more amazing to watch.
I have one question. How does it feel when you walk in a room and just knowing when you walk in the room that 99% of the time you're the strongest person in the room, unless maybe it's in a room of fitness people, but then you're still probably stronger than them. You know what I mean? Most of the time, unless it's with other strong men, you know what I mean? And that's a little bit of a difference. But like, how does it feel just knowing that like if you wanted to, you could just rip most people and like legitimately you can open their chest cavity? How does having that power like literally make you feel? It's the truth. What you looking like that, Los? She really wanted to.
I imagined it like literally ripping somebody's chest. I was like, oh, okay. All right.
Sometimes I have those days when I want to do that. To be honest, I think I know I hold quite a big presence anyway whenever I walk into a room, and that's not me being arrogant at all. I think I'm a big lady. You know, I have muscles that women, especially where I live, don't have muscles like that. You know, and I walk like I've got a presence, you know, and it's just the way I've always been. But I've always stood out. And again, because of the, you know, where I've been brought up, I've always been the one to stand out. So knowing, especially if I go to a competition, I'm now known, people know my face. And it's nice actually. It's nice to be recognized. It's nice to, I guess, have that little bit of power secretly. It is nice to have that little bit of, I know you're looking.
Locally, like, you know, like people, if you're walking the streets of like UK and people just, do they double take at you? Like, what?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I sometimes like, I think it was last week actually, I felt because of the lockdown, I haven't seen anybody really. So I actually called up a friend and I was like, I just need some attention. I'm feeling like really needy right now. Come to London, we'll do. And it was left, right and centre. So I was like, this is good. I feel better now. I feel good now.
Will you walk it down? Everybody that you meet is not stronger than Andrea. She said, hey.
Like literally probably on my best day, I could deadlift half of what you did on my best day. And even then I can't walk after that. So I'm thoroughly impressed, especially like Dean said, we are huge supporters of the queens and the black queens. So it was even more like when we talked about, we interviewed Big Laz and he spoke about your name and I was like, okay, cool. You know, I want more guests. Of course, I want to get into this whole strong man, strong woman.
I geeked out.
Right? So I'm like, oh, she's a sister. Not only is she a sister, but she just crushed a world record. I was like, no. Bring her on. We need her now. So thank you again for coming on the show too.
Oh,
no problem. It's been great. It's good.
You know what? I have to, since we're on strength, I have to ask this, because you spoke about how I was looking up, doing like some research, and I saw how you spoke in an interview about how I think it was the first Britain's World's Strongest Women competition you did that you just kind of had like a little bit of an issue with the truck pull, right?
That still hurts. That does still hurt, to be honest. Yeah.
So how?
No, what happened? Okay, I have to relive the moment again. So I was winning the competition. That was so it's the second World's Strongest Woman I'd done. The first one was in the UK, and it hadn't been around for 10 years, so they brought it back. So we had one in the UK. The second time was in America. So I was winning the competition. I was a good few points ahead of everybody. I was feeling good. The last event was a truck pull. Now, with OSG, they kind of run everything like the CrossFit Games. There's just lots of people, lots of things going on, and everyone's everywhere. So that they had a lane for the women and the lane for the guys. They had a whistle to start and a whistle to stop. So I saw him blow the whistle. I was going. And when your head is down and you're pulling against that rope, I heard a whistle again. So I then stopped but it was actually the whistle in the next lane to start them. So the truck just slowly rolled to a stop. So I should have still been pulling for another couple of meters. And I dropped down into I think that put me into 7th place. And in the end, I took 4th place. So I didn't even come home with a trophy. I was devastated, absolutely devastated, because again, it was just rookie error. You know, I should have paid more attention. I probably should have contested it as well. To be honest, I think a bit more competition experience, I should have contested what happened. But again, it was my fault for not really paying attention to the referee. So yeah, at that point, I actually hung up my belt. I said, I'm not competing anymore. I couldn't face competing ever again. I was heartbroken, and I'm going to get upset now. I was really heartbroken about it. Yeah, I didn't go back to the gym for 2 to 3 months afterwards. I just couldn't face it. I was heartbroken. So
I can no. That's definitely understandable, especially when you're putting your mind, body, heart, and soul into something, and then for it to be taken away, not by something you did, just by some other, by officiating error. Yeah, that's at that time when you want to rip somebody in half. I feel you. I
did. I went and got very drunk afterwards, to be honest.
As you should have. So, I'm sorry, Los. Go ahead. My bad.
Yeah, I would just I'm interested in the fact of that. Not only are you the world's strongest woman, or you know, won the event so many times. I'm interested in the fact that you wear a lot of different hats. So it's like you're a mother, you're a Black woman, you're a strong woman, winner. You know, so it's like, how do you juggle all of those things?
She's a wife.
Wife.
Yeah, just about. It's still hanging on. To be honest, I think in my head, it's like a big old scramble of just everyone needs to be in the right place at the right time. My children, they're now 11 and 8, so they've kind of grown up with me doing this now. So they kind of know that mum needs to go to the gym, mum needs to eat properly. Mum, you know, when mum goes away, it could be from 2 to 5 days. They've kind of got a little bit better as they've got older. It was quite difficult when they were smaller. I just think everyone's you have to be selfish. That's the one thing I have had to learn to do as a mother, especially. If you want something so badly, you have to be selfish. You know, I'm not, nobody else around me is happy unless I'm happy. And especially with this whole lockdown thing, I couldn't get to the gym for weeks. It was chaos in my house, you know, and you know, I had a really grateful start. I had some friends that lent me their garage gym so I could still train. But I think as long as everyone is, as long as the girls are happy, you know, everyone is kind of settled at home, and I don't go to the gym unless the children are at school or unless hubby's at home. So when I'm at the gym, nobody really knows that I've gone to the gym, because I kind of work it around when everyone else is at the house. So it's kind of like military sometimes. It is military sometimes, but again, you just have to be selfish. You know, it's something that I've been chasing. You only get one opportunity, and it's not a very large window. You know, I'm not going to be doing it forever, so I'm taking the opportunities while they're here.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Another follow-up for you. So I'm also interested in so like you said before, you're a big lady, right? So I'm interested, is your husband also as well, like, big, or is he like I'm just picturing it in my head, like, you know, like this lady is just big and strong. You got like a little man next to, like, I love you. You know what I'm saying?
He is the complete opposite to me. So he's a white dude. He's got bald head and he's got a dad belly. I mean, I can say that because he's gone out. He's not interested in exercise. I'm painting a really bad picture now. But he's very supportive of what I do. You know, he's 100% supportive of what I do. He's just not interested in joining me. That makes sense.
I'd support you too, but if you look like that, you rip my rib cage open. I'm like, yeah, do whatever you want to do.
I mean, he's put up with so much. You know, the mood swings can be really bad when I've got a competition coming up, and it's more just stress and anxiety. And I still have to organise who's going to be having the children or who's going to be doing the school.
Oh, hold on, you just went on mute. You just went on mute. Oops, there we go.
Sorry.
No problem.
So I have to, before I can even become an athlete, I have to put mum and wife in place first. Once that's okay, then I switch on and put my athlete hat on. So yeah, he's not, nobody sees him either, actually. He doesn't really come to competitions, which is fine because I don't like to have anybody talking to me while I'm competing. So it'd just annoy me if he was there.
It sounds, you know what? It sounds like y'all have the perfect yin and yang balance, that goes together to create an awesome team. You got somebody, he's supportive of you. Like you said, he may not be necessarily, he may not go to the gym with you, but he's like, yeah, absolutely. Go after that. Go do your thing. Like, I'm going to be here just chilling. Like, you know what I mean? And that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he likes to sit in front of the Xbox all night, when I will be going to bed at 8 o'clock, or, he's into heavy metal, which crazes me. So we're literally like chalk and cheese, but it works, somehow it works just about.
I love it. I love it. That's awesome. And I can already tell right here, the way you're talking, the playful banter, that y'all have a really good time. But so one thing that we do want to say is that, BTB, we are balling on a budget. So we have a 5-minute countdown coming down because we like to use free Zoom because we like free things. So we're just going to send you another link right after this. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Nice plug. All right.
Well, welcome back, people. To Black and the Berry. This is part 2 of our interview with the strong and powerful Andrea Thompson. You just heard us talking to Los. He almost burned down his backyard, but it's okay. It's all right, people. We're still here.
Funny. So Andrea, can I call you Drea? So I'm interested into talking a little bit about your training, the process of it. Maybe you could talk into what you were doing beforehand, and now that you're with training with Big Loz, like how's it changed, and what is the new implements he's giving you?
So before I was with Loz, my coach kind of focused quite a lot on the fitness side of it. Because I'm quite fast. I can sprint quite fast. I just can't maintain it for very long. And I'm very good with the yoke, so that kind of having the speed kind of helps the yoke as well. So it was pretty much based on fitness and being strong. With Loz, I think he's kind of recognised like my static strength is very high. So we've been focusing on that, and obviously with not many competitions sort of coming in, and we've only been together a few months, we've just been focusing on like static and explosive strength at the moment, which is obviously where the log and stuff comes in, and the deadlift record. But he's also very supportive, so it's not just about writing a program and just giving it to you. He's always on the end of the phone. I do, like I said, I get really stressy when I've got a competition coming up. And he's just such a nice guy that I could just be having complete meltdown on the phone to him, and then I'll be fine once I've finished. So having that as a coach, I think is a lot more important than just somebody writing you a program. So yeah, he's been amazing. It's been a real good for my mental health as well. It's just been amazing.
Would you say like a brother to you in a sense?
Yeah, definitely. We talk so much about just anything, and we all have family issues, we all have life issues, and I can tell him anything. And sometimes, if you're having one of those bad days, you literally cannot lift anything in the gym, and it's good that you can tell him that, because then he'll be like, it's fine. We'll have days like that. Because if I can't lift anything that's on my program in the gym, I will have a full-on meltdown. But then he'll be like, well, what's happened? What have you been doing? What have you eaten today? And he'll always kind of, root around for the problem, and he'll just find it, and he'll be like, well, that's the reason why. Just brush it off and we'll go again tomorrow. So, yeah, he's really good.
To have, especially like,
shout out.
So like in a short span, like you guys build that rapport very quickly.
Yeah, really good. I mean, I've known him for a little while. I've seen him around in different competitions, and he's kind of given me a few tips. He gave me a few tips just before I went into Worlds last year. And I think because we kind of were in the process of kind of transitioning to him anyway at that point.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the actual coaching fully took over in the new year.
Listen, shout out to the homie Big Laws. Y'all go hit him up for a training program if y'all trying to get it right. Use the Berry Game 1 code. So, you know, y'all use enough of it, we can have a conversation. So y'all go out there and use that. Go use it, motherfuckers. Go use it.
Yeah, hit Big Laws for sure.
And shout out to the homie Big Sweat and Big Dripper. We appreciate you.
Yes.
You know, you are our one sponsor. So any of y'all out here in Long Island, you need your athletic gear. You need any kind of like, you know, fitness wear, something like that. Y'all go holla at the homie Big Sweat, Big Dripper, Dijon.
Yeah. Okay.
Our plugs are done.
Good job. Good job, sir. Plug and then we're out. All right. So,
I have a question. Hold on. Because I want to know some of the nitty gritty stuff. So who is? Yeah, that's Panda in the back. So I want to know some of that nitty gritty stuff. So when you know when you're going into a competition, you know some of the competitors. Who is that? You know, who is that one, or who are those certain, you know, competitors that just like when you hear them, their names coming up, you're like, all right, we're gonna have to kick this up a gear. Who brings that out of you?
My main competitor has, and I think will always be, and from the very start actually, is Donna Moore, who is also British. You know, she's one of the ladies that I was chasing from the very first competition, from my first Britain's Strongest Woman. She was there, and I was chasing her for years until I finally beat her in 2018. And there's a few American girls. You've got Jessica Fithin. She's really good overhead presser. You've got Kristen. Kristen is, I won't say how old she is, but she's a lot older than us, and she's still fighting.
She's a savage.
You know, she's very much savage, and a lot of the girls are like, oh, really? When she's there. But the thing is, because of where I am now, the level that I'm at, I tend to compete with the same girls, because we're all kind of at the same level now. Mm-hmm. You might get a couple of girls that are just coming up in the ranks that will, like, have either just qualified to come into that competition, but there's probably about 5 of us that will always be in the same competitions. But yeah, Donna is, and she's a friend as well. We get on really well outside of the sport. I think on camera, on social media, it looks like we're really we are competitive, but like against each other. And there are Camp Donna and Camp Andrea, which again can cause a divide, and it's caused issues in the past. But we're actually good friends, and we talk about stuff like that all the time. So on the field, we're competitors, but off the field, you know, we're friends. So
okay, nice. That I definitely wanted to know that, just because the way that when I watched you do that 621 deadlift, the way that, like, your energy, like, you just was like, the way you were just sitting there, it was just like
Pop-Tarts. I was eating Pop-Tarts at the time.
The whole time. It's funny because I was about to say, the way you were just looking at everything and everybody, like, in my mind, I was like, she's looking at everybody like they food. Like, she was just like, okay, that's fine. Yeah, what's on the menu?
I feed off other people's energy, and Kristen is she's a game player. She's very much a mind game player. So, and I've been caught out by that before, and I've now learned to block it. So I was just watching her, and you know, she kind of was doing her thing, and then you had Hayley, who I think was quite nervous, so she was very twitchy. She's quite twitchy, and was just sort of just everywhere. And I was just like, just sit down. You're just sit. And I'm quite a calm person anyway. So I think a lot of the competitions you might see that I'm very calm. I don't get hyped up over anything. I tend to just do the lift and then bugger off, because I don't like the hype and all the fuss and noise and everything that comes with it. So, and then there was another lady there who I'd never seen before. She was a powerlifter. And again, she was extremely nervous. She was like almost in tears. She was that nervous. And I was just eating my Pop-Tarts.
Full hand loop.
I was just food. I was like, I haven't eaten anything for at least an hour, so I need something. And I'd actually spoken to Eddie Hall, because Eddie Hall obviously did hold the deadlift record.
Shout out to Eddie Hall. I'm
Cool,
team.
yeah, it's amazing.
I'm Team Beast. I'm Team Beast in this.
Are you?
I'm Team
Okay,
Beast.
cool. Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good guy. He actually helped me with the elephant bar deadlifts a week before the actual record. So it was him that kind of taught me how to lift it, because it's very different to a normal bar.
It has a little bit of a whip, right? Because I think I saw the video y'all had together.
It does have a whip, and I love it. I love that, but I need to get one. So yeah, he was the one that said you need to get carbs into you. You need to carb up. What have you got? And I was like, I mean, when I go to America, I literally buy Pop-Tarts in like big sizes, because we only get them in little packs over here, and you have them in like giant packs. So I was just walking around with my Pop-Tarts.
That's why we're so obese over here, because we have everything super size.
It's amazing. I love it.
Law said the same thing, yo. It's like we have just the portions over here.
Yeah.
Americans don't believe in portions of anything.
No,
for anything.
no, there's no cap.
I eat a lot as well. I do eat a lot, and I'm just like, I can't eat again ever.
Oh God!
But I forgot because we're talking about food.
Listen, food is wonderful. I'm going to barbecue a little later. But speaking of food, can we talk about your diet, Miss Thompson? Can we talk about it? Because I read somewhere you eat 4,000 calories a day. Or has that gone up?
I think I did. So let's just roll it back. So as a heavyweight athlete, I don't have to weigh in. At the start, okay, I'd lost the weight, obviously, coming out of CrossFit and coming into strongman. I'd lost the weight, and now as a heavyweight athlete, I didn't need to think about weight anymore. So I was like, I was eating McDonald's as I was going to the gym, and I was saving McDonald's when I finished the gym. So I ballooned. And then I kind of realized I was eating like an arsehole. So I kind of stopped that for a little bit. And just ate like bigger portions, but not with all the crap that comes with it, So yeah, as a heavyweight athlete, I never really thought about that I needed to think about my diet or anything like that. So I ate what I liked, really. And it was only 5 weeks ago I actually invested in a nutritionist. I thought I didn't like what I saw in the mirror, to be honest. Although I'm strong, I've never really considered food as fuel for my training. And we're now kind of manipulating food to help enhance my training. Now, I didn't want to lose any specific weight. I said the weight isn't an issue. I didn't really need to lose any weight. And I think I may have lost about 3 or 4 kilos. But I've kind of gone into this bodybuilding V shape, which is amazing. I've got a 6-pack that I've never even seen before. I know. I'm not going to show it because I have eaten today, so it's only there in the morning, mind you.
I hear you. But you still got one.
Yeah. So yeah, I've kind of I was on about 4,000 calories, but now I'm on 2,500 calories, which sounds like quite a dramatic drop, but it's very high in protein. It's high in carbs and quite low in fat. So it's not anything crazy. I don't eat chicken and rice all day long because that would bore me to tears. And as I've said before, I love my food, so I have to mix it up all the time. I've actually got a kebab coming tonight, so I know, but I can still have it on my food plan, so it's good. So yeah, I just try and eat healthily and regularly as well.
So can I hold on? We gotta take it back for a hot second. You've been winning these competitions and you've been setting records with just doing whatever you want for your diet.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand how you are really a strength prodigy. Like you really like what I mean by that is obviously you were training hard and stuff, but you always read all this stuff that says how your food is your fuel. But then you're going in a competition with elite athletes who were probably on some kind of diet or something like that, and you're beating them, quote unquote, with a I don't want to use the word handicap, but you've kind of given them an advantage, quote unquote, but you're still out there whipping ass.
The thing is, I never feel I've already said I never feel satisfied in what I'm doing. So if I've won a competition, if I've done a deadlift, the deadlift was great, but I wanted more. I came 5th at the Arnold. I wanted to win. I've won World's Strongest Woman, but I only won it by 1 point. That wasn't good enough for me. So I always feel like there was always more to give, but I always felt that something was holding me back. So I think with having a nutritional, I don't want to call it a diet, because I think diets is a bad thing to say to a woman, and it just sends us crazy. So a nutritional plan, well, I think it will help just regulate my sugar level, regulate, you know, the intake and the energy levels. And if you eat at the right times, it will just give me the energy and the boost that I need. Well, I'm hoping so anyway. I've only been doing it for 4 weeks, but yeah, I'm just hoping that it will just give me a little bit more longevity in the sport as well. You know, it helps with recovery. Obviously, having a decent quality food going in your system will help with recovery, which is paramount. You really need to recover quickly.
So,
Jesus.
Can I ask you a question? And I'm fascinated by, I'm not as nearly as strong as you, one. So I know sometimes I gotta taper it off, you know, because I don't want to break things or whatever. So it was like, do you? I'm thinking, because like, how do you do normal things, right? Knowing that you're like really strong, you know? So it's like opening a wine bottle, or like, you know, like a jar of pickles or something. Like, how do you know? Like,
have you ever, like, what have you accidentally broken?
I have accidentally broken things, and I walk when I'm coming into a competition. I'm obviously a little bit bigger. I tend to walk into things because I forget that the size of me has changed a little bit. So door frames all of a sudden become really tiny. But I do struggle. Sometimes I do become a little bit really girly. Like, I can't open this jar, and I get the piss taken out of me because, oh, you're supposed to be really strong, but. If I can't open the jar, I just can't open the jar. You know,
I'm like, wait a minute, she could deadlift 600 pounds, but you can't open the jar. You know,
no, I think what it is, I try to rein it in. I'm like, yeah, I'm strong when I need to be strong.
Right.
You know, I don't lift anything in the house. I think our washing machine broke a few months ago, and hubby was like, can you lift the washing machine out? I was like, no. I'm not lifting the washing machine out. You lift well, you're stronger than me. I don't care. Because if I pick up the washing machine and I hurt myself, you are going to get the blame for it. So what do you want to happen right now?
I to get into this exact angle, and I tripped you into it. So, master, bye. But yeah, I wanted to get into it because I was like, listen, is she doing things in the house like this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you imagine, because
he said, I'm not picking up the washing machine. You know pick up the washing machine.
Things that you know, mostly sometimes men would have to do, but like. You are obviously the strong holder in physically, you know what I mean? So it's like, if I need help, I'm like, can you pick that up for me? Like,
I literally will say no. I get asked all the time, and I'm just like, no, I'm not doing it. My neighbour who works with sort of engineering stuff is like, would you be able to help me put this in the back of the truck? I was like, no. Find someone else to do it. I'm not doing it. The only thing I have done is a car broke down outside the school, and it was blocking entrances, and the children were trying to get to school across the crossing. So I actually told him to get in the car, and I would push the car. And he said, "No, I've got the the recovery coming." I said, "Get in the car because you're blocking the road." Mm-hmm. So he got in the car, and I pushed his car up onto the verge and out of the way of danger. So that's the only thing I've really done.
No.
We
gotta
She's a superhero. She saves lives. That's it.
That shit is superhero shit. You know what I mean? You were just, you know. So I'm like, you were like the hired, not like a hired gun, but like a hired like pair of hands. You know, like.
No, she can't be hired. That's the thing.
I know. But you gotta ask. You know?
If I need to act, then I will. But I don't do it through choice. I don't really do it because somebody's asked me to do it. So there's too much at stake. Like, you know, the injuries can be detrimental to the sport. Even just picking up the washing machine or moving the washing machine could put my back out, and I would be out for months. So it's just not worth it. So I'm very lazy. I mean, I do the housework, but I am particularly lazy when it comes to lifting things like that.
But you know what? As you should, because as you said, just because like one, you're a professional athlete, so you can't afford to be doing that kind of stuff. Like it's not in your repertoire. And if you weren't that strong, then they wouldn't be asking you. So just because you are, just doesn't mean like you would find somebody else. You know what I mean?
So one thing is, how about this? Not barring injury to lifting random things. How are you when you go to groceries? Are you a one tripper? Do you try to get all your things in one trip, or do you sometimes
the world needs to know this?
Bag? How's that work?
I'm just a normal shopper. I think. No.
We don't mean by shopping. So like
but carrying the stuff.
Yeah. Or you
get I know. I just know because again, if if something was to slip and I'm just going to try and catch it, that could just put a bicep out. You know what I mean? So no, I literally once I've finished and got everything in the car, and I get home and I bang the horn, and I get someone to come out and help me bring the shopping in.
Yeah.
I try to. I'm trying everything. Like I'm gonna die. Or I'm either going to die or we getting everything in there on this first trip. And then if I have to come out on the second trip, I feel so like, what's wrong with you, man?
and that's the thing too. Sometimes like it's almost like a small scale strongman ability, because like you ever came and like get into the house and you have like a gallon of milk on your pinky, like you're like man, you got like tons of bags. Or like the water jugs, like the put in the cooler. You're like, you're just walking out.
Is that what you do?
It's just like I'm not coming out again. That's how I just felt like that. That is like strongman stuff for me, at least. I got like a frozen turkey in my hand and like just carry it. That's probably how they feel on a truck lift. Lifting up a hill or something.
Oh God. Oh my God. I can't stand you, Los. Yeah. Well, listen.
It does say fitness guru here. I'm just saying. I don't know. It's not there by accident. If you want me to send
if you want to work on grip,
you want to send lifting up water coolers. I mean, God.
So, all right, Andrea, I have a question for you. Actually, this is actually one of Lowe's question. I'm going to take it. Just because we're from the States, and obviously, it's it's a different experience over here than it is over there. I do want to ask you a little bit just about how is race relations in the UK? How are they?
Right now, or in general?
We'll go to in general, and then we'll go to right now.
Okay, so in general, it's not so bad. Again, I'm quite a positive person, so I don't really. I'm very naive to a lot of things around me. I think I feel like I'm very bubble wrapped where I live and where I've been brought up, and in a way my mum brought us all up as children. So it's not really terrible where I live immediately. If I go further in, sort of towards London or to where my family are kind of living now, it's a little bit more touchy. Everyone is kind of just watching their backs, I suppose. But currently, it's just you can't say anything to anyone right now. I've had arguments with my husband. It's caused a little bit of a divide in the house. It's like, he's like, well, you can't say that. I'm like, well, why? And there's like, why? Because you're black. And I'm just like, are we actually having this conversation now? Do you know what I mean? So social media, again, is playing it's toxic. Social media is so toxic right now. People cannot have an opinion without being called racist, without causing drama. It's awful. And the hardest thing I had to do was explain to my child why all this is kicking off. She's like, I don't understand why people are getting so angry and people are fighting over someone's skin color. And I was just like, darling, sit down. And I had to have that conversation with my child. And I never thought I would have to have that conversation about skin color, because we don't see that we don't see it. You know, the kids have been brought up around gay and lesbian people. We've traveled to Muslim countries, so they've seen all kinds of different races and creeds. And now all of a sudden, I've got to sit there and explain to her why people are fighting, because it's everywhere. So it's not nice at the moment. But again, personally, I don't have a massive issue. There's a couple of shops in town that I get followed around by the security guards. I'm like, and I end up playing games with them. You know, if they're following me around, then I end up walking around the clothes a few times until they come face to face with them. I'm like, you can stop following me now. Oh. Yeah, you were. I saw you. So, yeah, and I've had like a few, like the handbags being sort of grabbed as I'm walking past little old ladies. But I'm like, I've been living here like my whole entire life. You're probably just visiting for the day. Don't come to my yard and start protecting yourself from a resident. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's very stressful at the moment. It's very, very stressful, and I actually had a massive effect on me last week or the week before when it all kind of kicked off. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to talk to people. Obviously, I've got quite a big social media platform. I didn't know how to respond to the situation. Obviously, people, as a black woman, people are looking to me and like, you know, what is she going to do about it? Do I follow what everyone else is doing? Do I keep quiet? You know, I just didn't know what to do. So I did do a great deal. It's just horrible at the moment.
Yeah, it's yeah, well, we're in the States, so we it's forcing a lot of conversations that you know we've wanted to have over here. You know, just when it comes to, what happened?
And I think worldwide too. It's you know.
Oh, absolutely. But I'm talking about specifically for the states in regards to just crafting legislation for us.
Oh yes.
You know, to have these actual protections in there. So besides like for instance in New York they're banning chokeholds, and then they're also because of Amy Cooper now if you call the cops on somebody trying to use their race as a reason you're calling, they're gonna file that as a hate crime. Kentucky just, they just put a bill on the floor, for Breonna Taylor, the sister who got killed in a no-knock warrant. So it's a lot of stuff going on, at least over here in the States, that's causing this conversation to be had. And I know people have their, opinions on, protesting and, the level and severity of it. All I can say is this. At the end of the day, these conversations are now being had. These bills are now being passed. And then we're also going to be looking at because over here, I don't know about over there, but over here in the States, cops have something called blanket immunity, kind of sort of. So what that basically means is when they commit a crime or something, you can't sue them civilly.
Yeah,
it's very hard. It's very hard to get after them civilly. Now, because of all this, Supreme Court's looking at that to repeal that. So we appreciate how the world is going down with this. It's helping our fight, and it's putting a lot of people in some weird and some tough situations. Yeah. But I think that ultimately is going to just provide growth for
I really do hope it does. I mean, I really do hope that these people haven't died in vain, and that people are now the people are now recognizing the struggles that we've had for all these years. And it's not just recently, it's not just in the last 5 to 10 years, it's been a long time coming.
Worldwide too.
Well, worldwide, yeah. And I mean, I guess it seems more prominent in the States. It happens here. I'm actually really good friends with a white police officer, and he's the one that's letting me use his gym, and I've been friends with, and I talk to him a lot about it as well. And he gets called a racist, and I said, well, statistically, how many black men are you arresting? Is it more or less than white guys? And he said it's more. And I said, well, that is why you're seen as a racist. It's not because you are, because statistically you are stopping and arresting more black guys than you are white guys. So I can have that conversation with a white police officer, but it's obviously not all police officers are like him.
Right.
There are, and he's very aware of the situation as well. So I just think everyone just gets put into this bubble. All police officers are racist, and they're not. They aren't. You will get those that are racist, and we have seen those that are racist, but they're not all the same. So that's kind of like me defending white police officers, if that makes sense, because they're not all the same. But I do hope that we have the movement is really strong and it continues, and these more statues are coming down. And again, some of the, I'm like learning so much daily that some of the statues that have been pulled down in this country, I didn't realize that half of them are racist people.
Right.
You know, Winston Churchill, I found out this morning that he was a racist, and he something to do with slavery back in the day. I didn't know that, you know, and I think I should know these things, and I'm 38 years old now. So
through that guy in the harbor, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, I saw that. The UK was getting wild.
Yeah, that's been fished out now.
I'm about to say, how, like, is that, you know, are they keeping that there? They're not going to redo that, replant that.
No, I think they're going to put him in a museum somewhere, probably under lock and key.
Yeah, makes sense.
That would be probably smart for most of this stuff, because, you know, personally, I do think that you know, their statues don't need to be in public, but they should be somewhere in museums so that people can always remember, you know, what they did and where they come from.
Because it's history, isn't it? You know, that's what museums are for. It's for history. So we do need educating on these people and what they stood for and how it changes our future, because that's what history is, isn't it?
Talk about it. Absolutely. History or history or whatever you want to call it, people. So, do you have any? I'm sorry, Los. Do you have any? I know you had a UK question.
Oh, I mean, I'm just like I said before. I'm off when we weren't recording. I'm just fascinated by the culture and everything. I just want to see what it's like. What do you suggest? Like, because I've never been to Europe either. So what do you suggest? What my ventures are when we come out there? Because now we have to come out there because we have fans. We have a market out there now. So now, like, when we come out there, what are the things to do, and where can we go?
First of all, you need to visit London. London is like the tourist central. You just get, I mean, it's, like you said, it's pretty much like the New York of Great Britain. You get, even when I go, and I only live an hour away, I get wrapped up in, you know, the energy and the, you know, the speed of London, because when I come home to Suffolk, it's really slow and green. But yeah, visit London, especially if you can manage to get to Scotland. Scotland is very wet and windy, but there's a lot happening in Scotland, Glasgow. If you can understand the accent as well, because it's very at the north. The higher up you go, the stronger the accent gets. So that's quite fun.
Definitely have to go to Amsterdam.
Amsterdam, yeah.
Definitely have to go there.
Like that kind of thing. I've never been to Amsterdam. I've never been. It's on my bucket list to go. But I think since the sport has taken over, like all my kind of holiday bucket lists have just taken a back burner because I'm just traveling so much with the sport. So yeah, anywhere in Europe, Spain's really nice. France as well. France is very cultural. Food is great.
You got to get on a whole Europe tour.
Yeah,
we have to check that out, and then because they have the trains and stuff that go connect through there. Now I know Brexit. You know, we're not even gonna get into that. We're not gonna touch that. We're gonna leave that right there alone. We're just gonna put that in the box
or something else.
Box goes away. Listen, Andrea Thompson, we appreciate and thank you for your time. This morning for us, afternoon for you. We appreciate you coming on here. Just having some fun with us. Is there anything that you want to plug here right now? For the people.
Oh, now you've put me on the spot. Well,
I just want to give you
my log record attempt is coming up on the 4th of July.
We didn't talk about it July 4th. No.
What to talk about it?
Well, we have time. We have time.
Yes, we have time.
Yes.
Okay. So on the 4th of July, I shall be going for a world record attempt with the women's log record. It currently sits at 129 kilos.
What are you going to be going for?
I wanted to go for 135, But Lawrence Charlet has said just to go for 130 because everyone breaks the record by 1 kilos or a couple of pounds. I was like, well, that's boring because, you know, anyone could do that. So the aim is to go for 130, but I would like to get 135. So we'll see what happens on the day. That can be seen on
Sports.
Rogue, Core Sports, Rogue.
It'll be on YouTube.
Yeah,
It'll be
YouTube
everywhere. Listen, people, when you type in, if you follow the World Ultimate Strongman, record attempts, you're gonna see Andrea's name is gonna be listed on their YouTube. On their Instagram. They're gonna have it there. It's gonna be clicked up there. It's gonna be on July 4th. America's birthday. Now, if you're like me, who's gonna be celebrating Juneteenth, then that means that you're just going to be off on July 4th. So what you need to do is tune your black asses in and support your sister Andrea Thompson as she crushes this deadlift. Excuse me, Jesus Christ! This log attempt. And the log attempt is actually going to be 286 pounds, 130 kilograms, which she's going for. But she wants to get that 5 kilogram.
It's like a power clean, a hand clean, and an overhead press.
So the log, it's a big cylinder thing. Yeah, so you kind of hold the handles in the middle, and you get it onto your lap, and then you kind of just roll it to your shoulders, and then you press.
Okay. So
she's going to be pressing 286 pounds. That is a high school offensive lineman. That is a college offensive lineman. Matter of fact, that is a NFL offensive and defensive lineman. She's pressing full-grown men over her head, and you can bet your ass she ain't helping you move a goddamn thing. Her name is Andrea Thompson. This has been Black of the Berry. I am Dean. That is the Madman Los, and we appreciate you, Miss Andrea Thompson. Los, do me one more favor. Cue the applause for Andrea one more time. That gets edited in. Don't worry. We edit it. Yeah. Every time we say that, it gets edited. We love Andrea. We love you, Andrea. Thank you so much, sister. We appreciate you and your time.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Peace, love, and chicken.
Peace, love, and
we are out.